How's it going, everybody? I hope all is well. I want to talk very briefly about these diesel heaters. In this case, I have a VEVOR brand 5 kilowatt version from Lowe's. Just want to throw some things out there. There are some implications to owning one of these. It is not like an electric heater or maybe even a propane heater. There are some positives, which are that the exhaust is sent to the outside, so you don't have any, the addition of any humidity to the inside like you might with certain, you know, non-vented heaters. You don't have the risk of carbon monoxide in the same way as well. The negatives are, another positive, it definitely works. It definitely heats a room. But the negatives are, it is hard to seal all these things perfectly. So the exhaust is tough to seal perfectly, so you will get some smell of diesel. It's also, when you're fueling this thing up, you're liable to spill some. That's going to smell also. Also, when it comes to the exhaust gets hot like the exhaust on a car. It's very hot. It's extremely hot, and that comes with its own smell, because it comes with some heat protective covering for the exhaust. I went to a better one that didn't smell as bad as the one that came with it, but even with that, it still has a smell to it. So then is the noise. Instead of having a centrifugal or like a spinning pump, it has an inline pump that makes a clicking noise and it pulses. So that is like this annoying clicking noise that even with the unit turned on a lower power, you'll still hear that clicking noise. That's something that I can deal with without an issue. I can get used to that, but some people that might bother you. In general, and then at full blast it is pretty loud, just the fans and everything else. First of all, there is a noise aspect. So if you're considering getting one, consider the noise. So it's hard to tell. The noise level out here, I would say, is a little bit louder. Maybe 1.5 times to twice as loud as your typical, PVC pipe outlet on a natural gas forced air furnace that you would hear on a typical house. It's probably about twice as loud as that. The muffler does make a difference. In general, I would advise, this can be used, it seems like, in vehicles, and that kind of makes more sense to me. And then outside of that, I would keep it to like an outbuilding or a garage or a shed or something where you don't care about a little bit of diesel smell. I got this thing because I need it. I need something to heat my garage, and something that puts out decent power, not because I want it. It does not give the ambiance of a wood stove or something like that. When it comes to installing this thing, you have to elevate it because the exhaust can't be pointed upward. It has to be on a downward slope because with any combustion, water is a byproduct. So you got to get that flowing downhill. So I had to elevate this thing. That was another negative. You have to route the intake to the combustion chamber as well. So you got to consider that. And then after all that, you got to still fuel it. So you got to, get up on a step stool or something if you're exhausting this out of a window like I am. There are better versions out there. If you're going to go to all this trouble, I recommend getting the 8 kilowatt version. They're sometimes cheaper even. You might as well just get the higher output version. So that's about it. In general, I'd be very cautious about recommending this to someone. It would have to be some kind of situation where they really need the heat, or maybe they can keep most of the unit outside or something like that. Plumb it some way that the whole thing's kind of kept outside and out of your actual living space. You're getting this thing to improve the environment that you're working in. Adding that smell and noise component definitely, it would make it hard for this to be something where you would, I wouldn't sleep in a room where this is running, and it makes it tough for it to be up, to create an environment where you would rest there. I would keep this like I have it in my garage where I would be working while it's running. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. So yeah, it's some kind of inline pump, and you'll notice that the cadence of that inline pump will increase. With each pump, it sends more diesel fuel through the system, so that the frequency of that pumping will increase as you turn up the heat.